The Gospel according to Luke, chapter 6. No commentary. While he was going through a field of grain on Sabbath, his disciples were picking the heads of grain, rubbing them in their hands and eating them. Some Pharisees said, "Why are you doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" Jesus said to them in reply, "Have you not read what David did when he and those who were with him were hungry? How he went into the house of God, took the bread of offering, which only the priest could lawfully eat, and ate of it, and shared it with his companions? He said to them, the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." On another Sabbath he went into the synagogue and taught, but there was a man whose right hand was withered. The scribes and Pharisees watched closely to see if he would cure on the Sabbath, so that they might discover a reason to accuse him. But he realized their intentions and said to the man with the withered hand, "Come and stand before us." And he rose and stood there. Then Jesus said to them, "I ask you, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath rather than to do evil, to save life rather than to destroy it? Rather than do evil, to save life than to destroy it?" He looked all around them and said to him, "Stretch out your hand." And he did so, and his hand was restored. But they became enraged and discussed together what they might do to Jesus. In those days he departed in the mountain to pray, and he spent the night in prayer unto God. When day came, he called his disciples to himself. From them he chose 12, who he also named the apostles. Simon, who he named Peter, and his brother Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James the son of Alphaeus, Simon who was called a Zealot, and Judas the son of James, and Judas Iscariot, who became a traitor. And he came down with them and stood on a stretch of level ground. A great crowd of his disciples and a large number of the people from Judea and Jerusalem and the coastal region of Tyre and Sidon came to hear him and be healed of their diseases. Even those who were tormented by unclean spirits were cured. Everyone in the crowd sought to touch him because power came forth from him and healed them all. And raising his eyes towards his disciples, he said, "Blessed are you who are poor, for the kingdom of God is yours. Blessed are you who are now hungry, for you will be satisfied. Blessed are you who are now weeping, for you will laugh. Blessed are you when people hate you, and when they exclude you, insult you, and denounce your name as evil on account of the Son of Man. Rejoice and leap for joy on that day. Behold, your reward will be great in heaven, for their ancestors treated the prophets in the same way. But woe to you who are rich, you have received your consolation. But woe to you who are filled now, for you will be hungry. Woe to you who laugh now, for you will grieve and weep. Woe to you when all speak well of you, for their ancestors treated the false prophets in this way. But to you who are here I say, love your enemies and do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. To the person who strikes you on one cheek, offer the other cheek as well. From the person who takes your cloak, do not withhold even your tunic. Give to everyone who asks of you, and from the one who takes what is yours, do not demand it back. To do others as you would have them done to you. For if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do the same. If you lend money to those whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners and get back the same amount. But rather love your enemies and do good to them, and lend expecting nothing back. Then your reward will be great, and you be children of the Most High, for he himself is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful just as also your Father is merciful. Stop judging and you will not be judged. Stop condemning and you will not be condemned. Forgive and forget. And you will be forgiven. Give and gifts will be given to you. A good measure packed together, shaken down, and overflowing will be poured into your lap. For the measure of which you measure will be returned and be measured out to you. And he told them in a parable, can a blind person guide a blind person? Will not both fall into a pit? No, the disciple is superior to the teacher. But when fully trained, every disciple will be like his teacher. Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own? How can you say to your brother, Brother, let me remove that splinter in your eye, when you do not even notice the wood beam in your own eye? You hypocrite! Remove the wood beam from your eye first, and then you'll see clearly to remove the splinter from your brother's eye. A good tree does not bear rotten fruit, nor does a rotten tree bear good fruit. For every tree is known by its fruit. For people do not pick figs from thorn bushes, nor do they gather grapes from brambles. A good person out of the store of goodness in his heart produces good, but an evil person out of a store of evil produces evil. For from the fullness of the heart the mouth speaks. Why do you call me Lord, Lord, but not do what I command? I will show you what someone is like who comes to me. Listen to my words and acts on them. That person is like a person building a house who dug deeply and laid the foundations on rock. But the flood came, the river burst against the house, but could not shake it because it had been well built. But the one who listens and does not act is like a person who built a house on the ground without a foundation. And when the river burst against it, it collapsed at once and was completely destroyed. Okay, we'll see you guys. Thank you for spending your evening with us. We'll see you guys in chapter 7. Thank you. Have a good night.